Are you getting ready to take the Praxis 5146 Middle School Content Knowledge Exam? Maybe I can help. My name is Bob, and I'm a test prep expert with Study.com. In this video, I'll walk you through everything that is on the test, how best to prepare, and my top strategy tips. In short, we'll make sure you're as ready as possible for the big day. All right, let's jump in. Praxis 5146 tests whether you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to teach as a middle school teacher, and whether those qualifications meet national standards. In general, those who have completed an undergraduate program in education or have a degree in a specific content area and desire additional credentials are best suited to take this praxis. Examinees with prior knowledge in pedagogy, learning theory, and general education tend to do well on this test. Praxis 5146 is a 2-hour exam with 120 multiple choice or selected response questions and numeric entry questions. The exam includes questions that cover the following categories: literature and language arts, mathematics, history or social studies, and science. Each of the 4 categories contains 30 questions, occupying 25% of the exam. Most of the selected response questions will have a single correct answer, but some of these multiple choice questions will have one or more correct answers. You can identify these questions by the phrase, "select all that apply." There are a few other types of questions that are less common, including some with click and drag elements and some with audio or video prompts. Some questions in this test may also involve numeric entry, so instead of selecting from a list of answer choices, you'll see a box where you can input your answer. Numeric entry questions are usually found in math-related portions of the test. So my first strategy tip is to aim for about 50 seconds per selected response question so you have a cushion for harder questions. My second strategy tip is related. Skip the selected response questions if they are taking a long time. You can always come back to them later, but you don't want to spend all your time too early. Make sure to answer every question before you turn in your exam. And remember, if you've read the question multiple times, gone through your process of elimination, looked for all possible context clues, and still don't know what the right answer is, don't be afraid to guess. There is no penalty for guessing, and you have a 25% chance of getting the answer right. So now that we have covered the basics, let's dive into some test specifics. Praxis 5146 examines your knowledge and competencies around working as a middle school educator, especially in relation to the core educational subject areas. If you're looking to start your career in education, or if you're already a teacher and you're looking to spruce up your professional resume, this may be the exam for you. On a related note, here's my third study tip. If you have any prior formal education or advanced training in pedagogy, specialized topics, or teaching, be sure to draw upon the knowledge and review your material for Praxis 5146. The exam draws upon all sorts of national standards, including those from the National Council of Teachers of English and the National Science Teacher Association, so you'll need all the advantages you can get. Let's now take a look at the 4 question categories. Literature and language arts. The first category will assess your understanding of literature, language and linguistics, and oral and written communication. Expect questions that cover literary analysis, comprehension of different text types, language conventions and vocabulary usage, and how those topics relate to classroom instruction. For example, you may be asked what practical in-classroom activities you can use to teach Jack London's Call of the Wild or Gwendolyn Brooks' We Real Cool. Mathematics, the second question category, will test how well you know mathematical concepts and problem-solving skills that middle school students will be expected to know. So the Praxis will likely ask you about number sense and operations, algebra, geometry, measurement, data analysis, and statistics. Do you remember how to find a common denominator or how to determine the measure of an angle in a triangle? For this exam, you'll probably have to, and good news, if you want to, you can bring your own 4-function or scientific calculator into the exam. Earlier, We also talked about how numeric entry questions may appear in the math section of the test. There's also a chance where a question might have more than one box for you to key in your answer. So here's my fourth strategy tip. Read the question carefully and identify the math. Take the time to understand the question so that you can apply the right calculation method and identify key details like units of measure and instructions like rounding off your answer. The third category, history/social studies, will see how well you know key historical concepts, events, and themes, as well as geography, civics, economics, and culture. You'll likely be tested on world history, United States history, government, geography, and cultural diversity. Think periods like ancient Greece and Rome, figures like John C. Calhoun, and movements like the Reconstruction. Science, the fourth and last category, will examine your understanding of fundamental scientific principles, processes, and inquiry skills. Expect to answer questions on life science, physical science, earth and space science, scientific inquiry, and the nature of science. You won't have a periodic table for this section of the exam, but you won't need it. Rather, focus on generic questions about molecular makeup, such as the number of oxygen atoms in CO2. The Praxis 5146 covers the full range of topics that middle school teachers need to be familiar with, so there's a lot to go over. And maybe it's been a while since you thought about how to solve a mathematical formula. So what's the best way to prep? The official exam guide, available on praxis.ets.org, has a detailed list of topics on the exam, as well as discussion questions to get started. Look for the Praxis Study Companion Middle School Content Knowledge 5146 PDF document. These questions help you think deeply about the topics and their applications in the classroom to ensure that you know them thoroughly. I recommend starting your prep with a full-length practice test. Study.com's test prep course offers multiple, so that you can identify where you need to spend most of your study time. Don't worry about your score the first time around. You are just trying to figure out where you need to focus. Study.com will generate a study plan with top priorities for you. If you use other test prep materials, you may need to analyze your practice results manually. Watch lessons to review the topics in your study plan and do practice problems or make flashcards to transfer the material to your long-term memory. And take heed of my last study tip. Practice, practice, practice. There is no substitute for working through sample questions that mirror those that you will face on test day. Every practice question that you do is going to help you be that much more prepared. Need a concrete prep recommendation? I highly recommend Study.com's Praxis 5146 Middle School Content Knowledge Prep course. It covers everything that I just went through, but in a ton more detail. The course, written and vetted by former teachers, also includes short-form videos for every relevant concept and a bank of high-quality practice questions with answer explanations. And what's more, users who complete the course have a 92% pass rate on the test. If this video helped you, check out the other videos in this and other series for more Praxis test prep. And please, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when new teacher test prep content drops. Are there specific tests or questions that you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to circle back once you have passed your test so that we can all celebrate with you. Good luck.